Because there is always a fresh case to solve or surgery to perform, procedural dramas are structured to run for several seasons. The Good Doctor will not return for season 20, unlike the equally popular Grey's Anatomy, despite its success. Rather, it will conclude with season 7, following an agreement reached by ABC and show creator David Shore on the destiny of Dr. Sean Murphy. It's easy to argue that maybe continuing isn't the best course of action, even though the show was able to keep up its pace and might easily interest viewers for a bit longer. The medical drama achieves a satisfying feeling of closure that few other titles can by finishing sooner rather than later. With a baby-heavy premiere on Tuesday, ABC's The Good Doctor, which began its 7th and final season, is about to conclude. In this episode, Sean and Leah discuss the value of structure and schedule for their newborn son Steve as they adapted to becoming parents. 2 newborn patients in need of the same heart were saved by Dr. Murphy at the hospital. Among them was Eden, the foster daughter of Morgan and Park. Glassman and Lim were named co-presidents of San Jose St. Bonaventure when Dr. Marcus Andrews resigned as hospital president. Glassy went home afterward and spent some time with his grandson. The episode opens with Sean getting ready for work. He says that there are alarms for naps, feedings, and other things, and paces himself while changing Steve's diaper and letting him play for 15 minutes. Leah tells him to enjoy his first day back at work since she doesn't seem to be interested in this. Sean turns to go and strolls down the hallway past Glassman. He is ignored by Glassman. Sean enters the elevator with a dejected expression. Park and Morgan are at home. Park reports that Eden is lethargic and is not eating. To get her checked out, they go to the hospital. Asher and Jordan are strolling down the hospital hallway while talking. Jordan claims that she made a deal with Perez to stop talking. They are individuals with lives of their own. Asher concurs. He wants to go out and make poor choices while drinking. Jared is invited, but he declines. Sean enters and proudly shows everyone some pictures of Steve, including one in which he was ready to piss. He dashes off to find Lim after spotting her name on the surgical schedule. Lim is informing Villanueva that in order to obtain permission to appoint more surgeons, they require an acting board president. At least Villanueva hopes it's not O'Brien. Sean comes in. He desires to assist Lim with her case. Given that he is a new father, she doesn't believe it's a smart idea. It will be an intriguing and difficult case, according to Sean. Sean and Lim meet the parents of a child in need of heart transplantation. When Sean finds a scratch, he advises them to treat it right away to prevent the baby from getting an infection and losing their right to surgery. Glassman and Leah cross paths on the elevator. Will he disregard them indefinitely? He reassures her that he isn't and wishes her a happy birth. Eden's aortic stenosis needs to be surgically corrected as soon as possible. The physician informs Morgan and Park. Lim attempts to persuade Glassman to assume the role of board president. He doesn't want to, and doesn't think O'Brien will succeed. Sean enlists Jordan and Jared's help in tending to baby Jack's wound. Jordan is turned down by Jared to share tacos from a truck. It could take a while for the abscess to heal. Sean recommends using medicinal maggots. He would offer Steve the same thing. The parents concur. While Eden is having surgery, Morgan meets Jack's parents in the waiting area. Sean is disturbed to hear Steve in the background when he phones Leah. The schedule says he's meant to be taking his nap. Getting irritated, Leah claims she has to leave. Lim informs Park and Morgan that the surgery had to be stopped. Eden lacks sufficient tissue to carry it out. She requires a fresh heart. Hers is not working. Lim is informed by Sean that Jack's donor heart is prepared. Lim claims that Eden also needs the heart. A conference is held to decide who should receive the heart. Morgan is adamant on attending and assures them she won't have any say in the matter. Sean thinks that even though Eden has other riskier options, they still exist. Hence, Jack should have the heart. If Jack doesn't get a transplant, he will definitely pass away. Eden is placed on ECMO by Sean, who claims to be the most thorough of all. Because he needed to visit Jerome and had a difficult day, Asher cancels on Jordan. Leah gets supper from Jordan, who then lets her know how everyone else has someone else. Steve bursts into tears. Even if Leah tries to ignore him, he persists. Jordan is left by herself and feeling hopeless as she leaves to check on him. Glassman's recommendation of Lim for interim president irritates Lim. She doesn't like that she ticks the diversity box, but he believes she's a perfect fit. When Sean gets home, he finds Steve weeping and awake, which bothers him. Leah claims that she dozed off and failed to wake him up from his nap on time. Sean speaks first about the timetable. He can't sleep with the baby sobbing, and he's not going to Glassman for help. He has to operate on Jack tomorrow. He's asked to sleep on the couch by Leah. Sean dreams that she had surgery. Saying that they can save both babies with one heart, he dashes to the hospital. Sean discusses his concept. After extracting Jack's heart, the valves, which function properly despite his cardiac condition, can be taken out and substituted into Eden's heart. While there is little risk to Eden, Jack would need to be on a bypass longer to make sure the sick heart's valves are not harmed during the procedure. That's not what Morgan wants to do to the Pierces. They can always refuse, Sean replies. Miss Pierce is glad to carry it out. She's hoping to help keep Morgan's kid alive. Meanwhile, Leah finds it annoying that the baby app is alerting her when Steve needs to snooze via a gadget that looks like Alexa. She gives Sean a call. He claims he prefers to be involved in Steve's life, even if he lives far away, and dislikes having to spend the night at the hospital. He yearns for them. Now he needs to head to the operating room. Sean is asked to wait a minute by Lim. She advises the female board member to name Glassman, pointing out that he is a senior and already experienced in the position, a further advantage for an underrepresented minority. Lim gives Jared and Jordan the task of working on Jack and winning his heart. Jordan asks Jared what's wrong with him at the helipad. He claims that the reason he left was because she disregarded Perez's orders and gave him opioids. Jordan believes that while everyone else is moving on, she is not. Park, Morgan, and the Pierces await word. Morgan receives a rosary from Mrs. Pierce. Sean takes a bit longer than anticipated to extract Jack's former heart. Lim claims they are pressed for time. That's when he realizes. Leah makes an effort to convince Steve to go to bed on time. He refuses to. Sean visits the other, or with the old heart. The valves are larger than predicted, according to Lim. This needs to function. Leah nods off with Steve nestled against her chest. It's feeding time, and the alarm wakes them both. Eden comes to a stop. Sean advises shocking her. It appears to be ineffective. The surgeons, however, appear in the following scene and inform the parents of both sets of patients that the procedure went well. Sean returns home to visit his infant, but Leah needs to go to sleep, and Steve is wailing. The board notifies Glassman and Lim that they will both serve as acting presidents. When Glassman gets home, he finds Sean in the hallway trying to console the baby. He promises to take him. Proclaiming to be grandpa, he holds the baby.